Alright, so I'm going to record a video on DB Evolution and Hollywood's effect on the comic book, anime, and video gaming world. The pros and cons of it. Obviously, you know my views on DB Evolution. I thought it sucked. I think it's going to suck. 7 more sequels, I don't see it happening. But I'm sure they could rip them out of their asshole if they wanted. It's a lot of source material to work with. Yeah, there's a lot of. I'm going to start with the pros. The pros are going to be. There are so many pros to it. First, I'm going to start with a history of Dragon Ball and the entire series. Akira Toriyama created it in the early 80s. Okay? It's about a kid named Goku and his grandpa. He's living with his grandpa, and he turns into a giant monkey, Ozaru form, if you know the anime, and accidentally crushes his uncle. And in the movie, and in the anime, the only way to revert form from Ozaru is to get his tail cut off. But in the movie, he can revert by simple simple self-will. And it was just horrible to see him do that to it. The pros about the movie, it gets Dragon Ball a little more well known. It lets people know what it's about, who's in it, who the characters are, all that stuff. You know, it really gets the anime known by people who would normally pass over anime and the manga. But when they see the anime and they compare it to the movie, they're gonna have two completely different comparisons, two completely different storylines. An example, you've got in the original, Bulma is completely different. Roshi's completely different. This is an anime alone, mind you. Goku is a child, not a fucking teenager in high school. In the movie, Goku is a teenager in high school. Bulma is much less pushy, and Roshi's not a pervert, which really bugged me. They threw in the porno mag, which was hilarious, which was a great throwback to the anime. Just didn't work for me. That's very easily the way that they destroyed it and turned into a complicated piece of shit. I was surprised that people were like, "Oh, hey, they're making a DB movie. I can't wait." And when I heard they were doing a live action movie, I was fucking ecstatic. I was so happy. I can't put it into words. And then I saw it, and I was like, "Are you serious? That's what you're going to do with the Dragon Ball series? That's what you're going to do with this epic storyline that we've had for over 20 years now?" I mean, in the 80s is when the series came out. I have the one of the VHSs of one of the original movies. You know, I have a couple Dragon Ball Z VHSs at home of the original movies. I have the entire series on VHS at home. So I expected more from it. And to hand it to James Wan, who did the fucking shitty-ass Final Destination series. He did the first one. The first one's good. But why would you hand it to someone who's a horror movie director, who's only done, or not James Wan, Justin Lin, I think, or James Lin or something, some weird fucking Asian name like that. The cons of the effects of it in a negative way are, you give it to a writer and he's gonna go to town with whatever he wants to do with it. He's gonna do everything he wants with it and ruin it, throw it out the window, and not really care what the fans say, which is truly sad. The fans should have a say in it, and they claim they read the blogs and shit and watch the vlogs of fans like myself. I don't believe for a second they do. I've never believed they do. I believe they're just like, alright, this is the source material. Who cares? Let's throw it out the window. Let's do what we want with it. Let's do what we see with it. You know? You know what? I, as a fan, am not going to stand for this shit ever. For any fucking anime I enjoy. I'm not going to see any more movies as Dragon Ball. I'm not going to pay for one of them. I will find them online if I have to. I don't give a fuck if you guys say shit about it. I'll find them online. I'll watch them online. I'm not paying $8 for a ticket to go see Dragon Ball Evolution in theaters. Not when I know that the source material is just, when they're like, oh, this is source material. These are the characters. And Piccolo. King Piccolo is completely different. King Piccolo. That bugged me the most. James Marsters, who is a fan of the series, and you can tell he's a fan of the series because he wanted Piccolo to look like the series. They told him no. They told him, fuck you, we're doing what we want with the makeup. So he went in, he tried to make it as close to the series with color and style as possible, and he said, they asked him why he did it, he said it's better to be fired than to fuck up my favorite character. You know what? Fox, I'm not standing for this shit. I'm not going to see it. I hope it bombs. I hope you guys lose money on this one. And I hope you guys lose money on Wolverine for what you did to fucking Deadpool. So you know what, Fox? Fuck you. Do something the fanboys want to see. Do something we really want to know. The source, keep the source material. Keep true to the source material. I, as a fanboy of the Dragon Ball series, am not going to stand for it. I'm not going to waste a second. I'm not going to waste a cent on that movie. Next, you know what? Next Friday, it comes out, and so does Crank 2. I'm going to be seeing Crank 2. I'm not going to be going to that. Because I'd rather see Crank 2, because at least I know Crank 2 is going to be entertaining. I know I'm not going to walk away pissed off. None of my fanboy friends liked it. I have a couple friends who are fans of Dragon Ball that liked it. They found it to be decent. But the majority of my fan friends, including my friend Marvel Hero 402, nice guy, strongly recommend going and checking out his favorites, sending him a message. Dude's nice as hell. He didn't like it at all. I had really low expectations for the movie in the first place. When I first heard they were putting unknowns into it, other than Chow Yun-Fat, who was the only shining part of the movie, I didn't expect it to be good. And then I saw it, and it was worse than I had ever anticipated. So you know what, Fox? As a fanboy of any comic book movie you guys release, other than Watchmen, you've gotten all of them wrong. When it comes to the third movie, the first two of every series you've made, except for Blade, have been good. And then you release shit like Spider-Man 3 and X-Men 3 and X-Men Origins Wolverine, and fuck up the characters, fuck up the source material. I'm not standing for it, and I know fanboys that won't stand for it either. And if I can get every fanboy to boycott your fucking films, we sure as hell will. I'll buy the DVDs if I can find them used. But you know what, Fox? I'm not wasting any more money on you. And neither are my fanboy friends. Stop ruining the source material. That's all we care about is the source material. You know, I could stand source material being changed with stuff like the Lord of the Rings series. That's a good 1,400 pages just from 3 books. You need to change stuff to put on film. But you know what? I am not going to stand for it with stuff like Dragon Ball. With Dragon Ball and Wolverine. And neither will the fanboy community. We'll all see it. We'll all see it any other way. But through your way. But through the theaters. When you start sticking to the source material, we'll see it. Sorry, Fox. It's just the way it is. Fellow fanboys, I'm sorry, man. I'm real sorry. I'm sorry they did that to Dragon Ball. If I made a fan film, if I had the budget to make a fan film of it, it would have been like the fucking anime. Through and through. Unfortunately, I don't have the budget. I don't have the equipment. So I'm really sorry they handed it to someone like that. But make do with what you have and stick with the animes. At least that's source material. Have a nice fucking day, everyone. I'm out.